Well, good afternoon and welcome to Hamilton. And what a great day to celebrate philanthropy and philanthropists. Welcome all the organizations and all the honorees. Yesterday, we filled this same room with high school students from Hamilton High School as well as Baden High School for a day called Civics Day. And that's a day where the high school students shadow our city directors and our school board members, and they conduct a student-run city council and a student-run school board meeting. And I noticed a lot of the students here today who are with the Hamilton Community Foundation Youth Philanthropy Group are also ones that we had yesterday for Civics Day. But there's a high energy level yesterday with all those students, and the intelligence level was also very, very high. The young people around this area are very excited about Hamilton, and that is for very, very good reasons. These students even talked about Amazon headquarters 2 being in Hamilton, Ohio. And that would make us Hamilzon, which would be okay with me. They discussed Hamilton infrastructure improvements for traffic control for new businesses. And these students also planned for the building of a new pedestrian and cyclist bridge across our river. Now, these students had data, they had a timeline, and they had some cost figures, and they would be great Miami University students, Dr. Crawford. But it is an exciting time in Hamilton for young people as well as for all of us. In just the last 4 years, Hamilton now has a beautiful riverfront park, Markham Park, with River's Edge Amphitheater, and we have a concert series there every year. We have new downtown loft and luxury apartments, including being built across the street from here, and the absolutely incredible growth of our downtown and Main Street businesses and restaurants. And that's because of a great city team led by our city manager, Joshua Smith. We're also attracting an incredible amount of investor interest in Hamilton, including the repurposing of an old paper mill along our river into a $100 million plus enclosed sports complex. The paperwork's not signed, but we're getting close. And that complex alone will draw over 100,000 people to Hamilton and Butler County each and every year. And if you want to know more about Hamilton, Ohio, we have initiative update books out in the hallway, as well as Sustainability 2017 booklets. I'm going to read to you another list. The Markham Park, I already mentioned to you, Mercantile Lofts, the Core Fund, Development Fund, our Hamilton Dog Park, Hamilton Parks Conservancy, the Soldiers, Sailors, and Pioneers Monument Restoration, the River's Edge Amphitheater, the Hamilton Mill, Foundation Field, the Courtyard by Marriott that you're in right now, TV Hamilton, who's producing this, the Michael J. Colligan Lodge, the School-Based Health Center, the Fitness Center for the Creative Arts, and the Great Miami River Recreational Trail Extension. And the Hamilton Community Foundation Start Ready Preschool Program, and the $1 million in scholarships given each year by the Hamilton Community Foundation. And many of the high school students who were here yesterday will benefit from those scholarships. That list represents some of the many Hamilton projects that are being funded and led by the Hamilton Community Foundation and philanthropists. So obviously, philanthropy means a lot to our city. Our community foundation is our city's guardian angel. And I've said that many times, and I know it to be true. I am not sure of the Greek or Latin meaning of the word philanthropy, but it must mean something like benefiting a heck of a lot of people, because philanthropy does benefit just our entire city, our entire region. Hamilton's benefited so much from the Community Foundation and philanthropists. You can see it in this city. You can sense it in this city. And thank you all for being here. I guess I turn this over now to John Gaduli. Is that correct? John? How about a round of applause for John Gaduli? Thank you.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome each of you today to this year's Butler County National Philanthropy Day celebration. Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate giving in our community. This day and this event gives us an opportunity to thank some of the local philanthropists throughout our community. As you will see here today, philanthropy is alive and well in Butler County. And as you look around this room today, you will see many living examples of that philanthropy. Created by the Association of Fundraising Professionals in 1986, National Philanthropy Day was first declared on November 15th of that year with a proclamation from President Ronald Reagan. Across the country, on National Philanthropy Day, many are doing exactly what we are doing right now, gathering together, recognizing, and paying tribute to the impact of philanthropy and to those people active in the philanthropic community and their contributions to our lives, our community, and our world. The celebration was adopted locally in 2006. The Butler County Development Roundtable, a devoted group of fundraising professionals, joined with the local community foundations to honor the incredible generosity and contributions of those in our community. I'm going to ask the representatives from each of these organizations to please stand and be recognized when your group is called. I'll ask that you remain standing and that we hold our applause till the end. So if I could ask members of the Butler County Development Roundtable group to please stand. Members of the Community Foundation of Westchester Liberty, please stand. The Fairfield Community Foundation, ask those representatives to please stand. The Hamilton Community Foundation. The Middletown Community Foundation. The Oxford Community Foundation. Now, please join me in thanking these local leaders in philanthropy. We also want to recognize and give special appreciation to our generous luncheon sponsors for this year. Our platinum level sponsor is Mercy Health Fairfield Hospital. Our gold level sponsors are AK Steel, Atrium Medical Center, Barclaycard, the Davis Wendell Family Fund of the Community Foundation of Westchester Liberty, First Financial Bank Wealth Management, Fort Hamilton Hospital, Journal News, LCNB, Miami University, MCM CPAs and Advisors, Park National Bank, U.S. Bank, and Wilkes Insurance. And our silver level sponsors for today are Community First Solutions, Lifespan, and Quality Publishing. Thank you all for making this event possible, and let's please give them a round of applause. Now I'm privileged to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for the remainder of the luncheon, John Lomax, the co-anchor of Good Morning Cincinnati on WKRC TV Local 12. The Knoxville, Tennessee native earned his bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Tennessee and was 2 years into his graduate coursework in communications when he was hired full-time by WTVK-TV in Knoxville. From that point on, John was hooked on broadcast journalism. In June of 1983, he was hired by Local 12 as a Northern Kentucky bureau reporter, and since that time, he's been a fixture in our living rooms. He's heavily involved in community activities and has volunteered and served on the boards of many Cincinnati area organizations and charities. Please join me in welcoming John Lomax.
All right, thank you, John. Thank you so much for that. Thank all of you for asking me back. I really appreciate that. That means I must not have said too many bad things about Butler County during the course of the past 6 months or so. I really do have a special relationship with Butler County. I've been, as was noted, I've been at Channel 12 since 1983, and for most of that 34 years, I have been coming to Butler County to MC different events. And there's a core of people who you see at a lot of these different kinds of events, and they are the people who make things happen in any community. And I know that I've spent a lot of time with them because it's not just a, hi, how are you? The grip and grin kind of thing is, bring it in. I've gotten hugged more here than if I had just won the lottery. It is just absolutely wonderful to come here, and thank you for being so warm and generous with me. And I know this is a generous community because of the many times that I have been up here. Just an aside, I think I've seen the Mayor of Hamilton more times without a tie than I've seen him with one. So that gives you an idea of just how many times I am here in Butler County. But I know you're generous because I've spent so much time here. And today, people from more than 25 organizations have chosen to join us to celebrate giving in Butler County. Now, these organizations selected their own honorees in appreciation of their selfless donations of time, talent, and treasure that so very positively impact our communities. Our honorees are listed in the printed programs, and their names are rotating on the screen. So will all of today's honorees please stand so we can recognize you. Come on, don't be shy, stand up. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for what you do for your community. And part of what makes philanthropy so special is that it is voluntary giving. A caring heart compels one to lend a helping hand to make life a little bit easier for someone else, to leave our communities a bit better than we found them. No one is forced to be a philanthropist. There's an ancient Greek proverb that goes, when a person plants a tree under which he will never sit, then you know that civilization has come to that land. And we thank all of you for planting those trees in our community. And in recognition of your contributions, the proceeds from each year's luncheon are donated in the names of each of that year's honorees to a community giving fund housed at the Hamilton Community Foundation. And today, the first grant will be awarded to a deserving program in our community. But right now, please join me in welcoming my East Tennessee sister. And I say that with all seriousness. This is those of you who know me know that Fran Sack is really my sister. She's my blood. Fran will lead us in our invocation. We don't look a lot alike, but we are.
Thank you, Brother John. We found out we were kin about 25 years ago when he was emceeing the Crystal Apple Awards for the Middletown Community Foundation. I know a lot of standing has been going on, but I would like to ask, it's only less than a week since we've had Veterans Day, and I would like to ask any veterans that we have in our group, if they would mind, please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you and your families for your service. All right, now please bow your head in prayer. Dear God, we have gathered today to honor the joyful givers in our community and to thank them for the generosity that has made a difference in many lives that have been touched by their giving and sharing of their wealth of time, talent, and treasure. Please continue to bless those businesses and individuals that support the noble causes that help all our communities become better places to live, work, and enjoy our family and friends. God, continue to give our government and military leaders wisdom and guidance as they lead this nation during challenging times. Keep them safe and bring them home to their waiting families. And bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies. Bless the people who have prepared it. And bless us, O Lord, for these thy gifts that we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen.
All right, Fran, thank you for that. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker today, Dr. Gregory Crawford. Dr. Crawford is a native of Elyria, Ohio. Before beginning as Miami University's 22nd president on July 1st of last year, he was vice president and associate provost at University of Notre Dame. And previously, there's a Notre Dame fan here, I just heard it. Previously, Dr. Crawford was Dean of Engineering at Brown University, where he had joined the Physics and Engineering faculty in 1996. He earned bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees from Kent State University. His bachelor's, he has two bachelor's, one in math and one in physics. His master's is in physics, and his doctorate is in chemical physics. all from Kent State University. And that's not all. He and his wife, Dr. Gregory Crawford, who is also a physicist, bicycled across the country to raise awareness and funds for research on Niemann-Pick type C disease, which is a rare and deadly neurodegenerative disease. He has completed 5 Road to Discovery bicycle rides, expanding fundraising to include other illnesses being studied at Notre Dame. And his efforts raised about $2 million for research and clinical trials. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Crawford.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. Good afternoon. I'm thrilled and honored to be invited here today to provide some remarks on philanthropy. In the landmark 1994 book, The 7 Faces of Philanthropy, an enduring analysis highlighted just last year in Forbes magazine, the authors describe the different motivations of people who give. The first one, there are communitarians who make their mark by making the community a better place. The second is the devout, who want to share the blessings they believe that God gave them. The third are investors, who want to ensure that their contributions are used as effectively as possible. And fourth are the socialites, who support and participate in social functions that benefit causes. The fifth are the altruists, who believe giving is a moral obligation. The sixth are the repayers, those who respond in gratitude for the help that they've received. And the seventh are the dynasts, who are carrying on the family tradition of giving. When I look at that list, I see underlying human virtues that unite philanthropists across all of these categories. I believe that philanthropists exhibit the virtue of magnanimity. They have the noble spirit and great hearts that open and embrace others. They are humble, not to take credit for all the good that they have come to them, to recognize that their good fortune doesn't separate them from the rest of society, but actually deepens those connections of mutual dependence and solidarity. They are generous, taking into consideration the needs of others rather than calculating and protecting their own benefit and comfort. They know that the common good is really good for everyone, from the giver to the receiver. When I look at that list, I also see our highest values here at Miami University of love and honor. Philanthropists demonstrate the kind of love that puts others' needs and interests ahead of their own. They make direct that love toward certain groups of people, first-generation students, people with challenges, and people suffering from incurable diseases. They might direct that love towards institutions or causes they find meaningful in their lives, their alma mater, their church, a social justice organization, or a hospital. They exhibit honor in 2 different ways. Their giving reflects the personal honor as individuals, and they honor the humanity and dignity of every person who benefits from their generosity and magnanimity. Although we often think of philanthropy in terms of cash gifts, I understand this love and honor, this magnanimity and this generosity to be more broadly defined. It is anything that a person gives to benefit others, including time, talent, and expertise. In my role as an academic leader for more than a decade, I have worked extensively in philanthropy and have seen the virtues and values of philanthropists and many different expressions of philanthropy up close. I have become familiar with why people give, to the university in particular, although that giving can be directed in a variety of different causes, from scholarships to buildings for scientific research to undergraduate teaching, mentoring, and learning. The best part of my job is hearing those stories of alumni that give back. I'm going to brag a little bit today on some of the philanthropy that goes on at Miami University. It's extraordinary, and it actually helps us in so many different ways that we could never otherwise do on our own. So I'd love to give you a few examples from our very own Miami family. Our globally recognized Farmer School of Business is named for Dick and Joyce Farmer and the Farmer family. Dick graduated from Miami University with a business degree in 1956 and took over his family's rag cleaning business in 1959. Under his entrepreneurial leadership, he took that company to a Fortune 500 company with global sales approaching $4 billion. It's now Cintas Corporation. His book, of course, is entitled Rags to Riches. The farmers gave the gift that founded our school in 1992. In 2005, the Farmers Foundation funded the Farmer School of Business building, and then just last year in 2016, a much larger gift came in to fund scholarships, programs, and faculty positions. Their magnanimity has elevated our school as one of the top undergraduate business and entrepreneurial programs in the country, as well as one of the top producers of CEOs in the country, a meaningful legacy for such a generous and creative, successful person. Many more leaders in the community of love and honor will go on to impact society in a positive way, just as the farmers did. In addition to the financial gifts, Mr. Farmer served on our board of trustees, donating his time and talent to help Miami advance into the future. Another example is Mike and Ann Armstrong, a Miami merger who both graduated in 1961, focused their philanthropy on Miami's student center and student-centric experience. In Mike's words, an investment in Miami's student body, the university, and the next 200 years. The mergers also generously gave in 2008 to the Armstrong Institute for Interactive Media Studies, a radically different interdisciplinary program to develop new approaches to digital technologies for innovation and broad collaboration. It's a fitting legacy for the Armstrongs. Mike had to leave school for work for a year after he was hurt and had to forego his football scholarship to make money to return back to Miami. He went on to become the CEO of the board of IBM's World Trade, Hughes Electronics, and AT&T, then the chairman of Comcast Board of Directors. His vision through philanthropy was to bring disciplines together in innovative ways, regardless of your major, regardless of your interest, and converging those disciplines together. Here's another story, just recently, about the magnanimity of our alumni. In a time of giving, this time giving their time and talent. Recently, at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center in Cincinnati, 2 of our alumni participated in the Spirit of 64, Miami's university enduring legacy of Freedom Summer Dialogues. Will Haygood, class of 1976, presented his new book, Showdown, Thurgood Marshall and the Supreme Court Nomination That Changed America. Jeff Pegues, class of 1992, CBS News correspondent for Justice and Homeland Security, presented his new book, Black and Blue, Inside the Divide Between Police and Black America. These graduates are spreading philanthropy in their fields, helping to elevate society with an important work on race and elevating the name of Miami University. Let me talk a little bit about our students. They're getting a head start in participating and practicing philanthropy, part of their preparation for a lifetime of service and success. They develop the habit of magnanimity and their time and their passion at a time in their life when they have fewer financial resources. But that virtue and its rewards become deeply established. I told this story the other day in my opening of my State of the University address. When Miami senior Quentin Couch, recent graduate Jackson Gray, and Bowling Green student Tyler Brazina lost their close high school friend to suicide, the young men felt stunned and powerless. As the months passed, they turned grief and sadness into action. Quentin, Jackson, and Tyler took their passion for the open waters and turned it into a journey of awareness, fundraising, and meaning. They kayaked 981 miles down the Ohio River, raising much-needed funding for suicide prevention and shining a spotlight on an often overlooked crisis. On the river, arms tired and hands full of blisters, the young men learned the powerful lesson of community as friends and strangers encouraged them on, as they realized how they needed one another to finish that long trek and as they saw how love and honor can inspire others. Jackson and Quentin connected families, communities, and the nation to Miami through a single selfless act. That is philanthropy. Just the other day, I got to see leaders of our Chi Omega sorority train their members to become wish granters for children with life-threatening medical conditions through Make-A-Wish America. Last year, they raised tens of thousands of dollars to make some important wishes come true for children and family. And that is philanthropy. And this past spring break, our regional students on our regional campuses got together and decided to spend their spring break in a very different way. They traveled down to Tennessee and spent that week off repairing houses, building homes, and helping those who needed the help the most to live in a very tough and challenging environment. And that is philanthropy. We also have students on the Miami campuses who participate in 4 Paws for Ability, including some off-campus who foster dogs while working their socialization and their education. They also focus on raising money and awareness to ensure that children who need a well-trained service dog can have one. That is philanthropy. I wanted to make a short point up there. The dog on the right is the new first dog of Miami University. That's Ivy. And the reason I bring it up with 4 Paws is because we just adopted Ivy. She flunked out of 4 Paws. And so it was quite interesting. We wanted to get another dog. We wanted another golden retriever. And the story goes, we asked 4 Paws, what does it mean when they flunk out? And they said, well, it's kind of like the dog got a B+ and just quite didn't make the A. After we brought her home, we realized there's some great inflation there because she's about a C-, I think. So she's a great dog. We just love having them on campus. So I would like to end my talk today of my own engagement with philanthropy. You heard a little bit about it, but I had the privilege of meeting and working with a Miami alum, class of 1949, Coach Ara Parsegan, and his family, which I met about a decade ago in my previous position. When I heard the story of how 3 of his 4 grandchildren had lost their lives to a rare and fatal disease, Niemann-Pick type C, I was inspired by the family's response of giving hope to others and also heartbroken by their losses. I could not imagine losing 3 or 4 children or grandchildren. It's incomprehensible. The inspiring story of how Coach's family had turned their grief into service for others' suffering families was just incredible. And I wanted to be a part of that. Because it's a rare disease, this Niemann-Pick type C does not have a market that would attract government or corporate funding. So the Ara Parsegan Medical Research Foundation was raising funds through philanthropy and supporting dozens of top scientists who are making tremendous progress on a once obscure illness that affects about 300 children per year. My physics background was not useful scientifically, so I decided to devote my passion for bicycling to ride for the cause. My wife and I made 5 cross-country rides totaling over 15,000 miles, raising more than $2 million and attracting a host of media articles and reports to help raise awareness for this rare disease, which is just one of 8,000 other rare diseases that does not see much funding. As I met more and more children and families impacted by NPC, Niemann-Pick, I gained even more motivation to do whatever I could. I'm happy to say that research on this disease, supported largely by some $40 million raised in philanthropy by the Ara Parsegan Medical Research Foundation, has led to the discovery of treatments that are now in clinical trials. We lost Coach this past August. He was 94 years old. One of my fondest memories of Miami was presenting Coach with the President's Medal for his lifelong commitment to philanthropy, humanity, and children. We all have ways to give back. In all my years of working with philanthropists, this is the first time I had the pleasure of being with so many at one time. Let me take it as an opportunity to honor you for your love of community and humanity. I have seen philanthropy from all sides. I have seen its powerful impact on the lives of institutions and individuals. I've experienced firsthand the joy and satisfaction that comes from elevating and uplifting the well-being of others. Your magnanimity, your humility, and generosity make a real difference in the lives of countless people in a way that radiates out for the good of us all. For your powerful legacy and your incredible generosity, I thank you on behalf of myself, on behalf of Miami University, and those everywhere who benefit from your passion and compassion. Thank you again. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Crawford. You talk about Ivy and great inflation. Well, I got a Johnny Cash, a Luca, and one whose name changes from day to day depending on whether he left us a little something in the corner. who pray against the curve every week. Yeah, so it's amazing that they're still even with us. But anyway, Dr. Crawford, thank you so much. At today's celebration of National Philanthropy Day, we will have the first grant from the Community Giving Fund created through past Philanthropy Day events that we were telling you about. And now invite Fran Sack, President of Butler County Development Roundtable, to come back to the dais to make that award.
Everybody's so tall. Good afternoon again. I want to give you a little bit of background because many of you, this is the first time you've attended this event that we hold every 2 years. This is probably the 6th one or maybe the 7th. But back many years ago, like several Butler County development professionals participated in a discussion with 50 Greater Cincinnati nonprofit organizations on how to reach out to the area communities and individuals in the development of Leave a Legacy. Some of you might have heard of that. And this was a program that was sweeping the nation, and Greater Cincinnati was trying to get their professionals or nonprofit people together to work out how to make that happen. We came together to discuss the creation of a networking an educational organization based in our county because we felt like the need, we have many nonprofit organizations and many others have come to be since that time in 2000. We felt like we were missing an opportunity and we wanted the opportunity to be able to reach out so they didn't have the distance to go to Cincinnati, knowing that many of the organizations, it was a one-person shop of doing development or fundraising. So in 1999, a group of Butler County development professionals, two in addition to myself are here, and I'd like to ask them to stand, that helped to have the vision for this. John Gaduli and Ginger Bruggeman, please stand. They were on, plus myself, were on the visioning team. Thank you, and please enjoy this, what you see today. So after we decided, yes, we want to go forward, there is a need here. In May of 2000, the first meeting was held. 1 year later, we became more formalized and a steering committee met and the organization was formed. The group decided that the purpose would be to hold quarterly meetings where we would invite development professionals to be our guest speakers and address specific development topics or issues that our members were having or they were interested in. It has been a great benefit to the members and the organizations that they have represented. In addition to the local educational opportunities, BCDR promotes the educational opportunities that are provided by the Greater Cincinnati and the Dayton Association of Fundraising Professionals since they are close to home. And we do have a representative, Vanessa, from the president of AFP in Cincinnati. Please stand. We thank you for being here. And Vanessa lives in the Hamilton in Butler County, so she didn't have far to come today. So, in 2005, when we were becoming a little bit growing organization, we decided that we wanted to have our own National Philanthropy Day. We got the blessing of the Cincinnati AFP because we wanted to make sure that they understood why we were doing what we were doing, and that the nonprofit organizations, some did go down to Cincinnati for the AFP, but it's a huge event. But we would like to recognize the nonprofits, the people and the donors that give so much back to our county. So they said, go for it. So since 2005, for the first 3 years, we held it yearly. We decided it was, we might want to do it every other year. So since that time, we have been holding this National Philanthropy Day. And I will graciously tell you that this is the largest group we've ever had. Thank you so much to your organizations and to you as philanthropists for doing what you do in our communities. From this event, as we grew, came the Circle of Giving that is funded, as you heard from John, at the Hamilton Community Foundation. As an emerging national trend in philanthropy, this group gathered groups of individuals to combine their resources and decide what charities those resources will support. So in 2006, we established this fund to recognize the individuals, and we have, since that time, it was decided that we have accrued and increased the amount of contributions that have been funded, that we, at this year, for the first year, we were at a point that we could give our first grant. And so we're very excited about this. We had like 15 grants from throughout Butler County and nonprofit organizations that did apply, which we greatly appreciated. All well worth the request, well written. But it was decided by the BCR National Philanthropy Day Committee, by reviewing the opportunities that were presented to us, that this year, for the first award that would be given, would be to the Miami University Regional's TRIO program. And so at this time, I invite John Kaduli to come up. He's going to present the check as the president of the foundation. But Sue and Ellen to come up, and Sue who's the director of the program, will be sharing with you what this is all about, and we're going to present the check, and then she can share. Sophia, is that right? Did I say that right?
Yeah. Even Siri doesn't say my name right, so.
You two get in the middle, and John and I'll get on either side.
Thank you.
Should we back up?
Hi, Len.
Should we back up a little bit so we can don't fall off the stage?
A little drama there.
Right here first. Stay there. Very nice. Okay, give everyone this.
Okay. The grant this year is for $1,000, and every 2 years from now on, hopefully we will at least give one, and maybe as the fund grows, we might even have more to give. Thank you. And Sue, would you please share?
I sure will. Hello, and I would really like to express my appreciation to the Butler County Development Roundtable for providing us with the funds to purchase from our wonderful friends at Shared Harvest, so we're keeping it really close to home, from our wonderful friends at Shared Harvest, 100 boxes of food for a group of very dedicated, hardworking students. We felt it was really important that we gave our students the opportunity not to have to make the decision to decide to buy a textbook or to buy groceries. We wanted them to have that opportunity to stay home and study rather than run to the grocery store. So every opportunity that we have to support our TRIO students is very important because we require a lot of our TRIO students. Our students participate in required study tables, they attend required meetings with their academic coaches, and they muscle through financial aid and financial literacy lessons. We provide extracurricular activities. We take them on field trips to graduate schools. And yes, we even took them to the dreaded lock room, which we didn't get out of. It was kind of scary, but we will next year. They envision their future and they learn about careers and appropriate ways to communicate with potential employers, professors, and much, much more. Almost all of our TRIO participants are individuals who grew up in Butler County, want to stay in Butler County, and often are the first in their families to attend college. Like all of us here, they want better lives for their families and themselves, and they believe that the way to achieve that goal is through education. We share goals and create plans with each TRIO student that they will graduate from Miami University to become active, contributing members at their workplaces, in their communities, and here in this county. Again, I thank you for supporting our students and our program with a guarantee that we will continue to seek out additional ways to support our TRIO team members, and I hope that will lead to very innovative and collaborative partnerships with many of you here in this room today. Thank you very much.
All right, congratulations to you, Sue Sapella, and TRIO, well-deserved. I'd also like to welcome and recognize the young people who are here today. You've no doubt had the pleasure of meeting them today. They were the ones who really had the big smiles when you came in. They are youth philanthropy members at 3 of our community foundations. At this time, I'd like the members of the Community Foundation of Westchester Liberties Youth and Philanthropy, the Hamilton Community Foundation Youth Philanthropy Committee, and the members of the Middletown Community Foundation's Youth Advisory Council to please stand up so that we can recognize you. It's just wonderful to see you to want to help the community become better at such a young age. But now I have to be the one to bear the bad news. I need you to go back to school. I need you to study hard. I need you to get jobs and support me in my Social Security. All right. I love it. I love how benevolent you are. Think about John when you're being benevolent, okay? Now, and this is important right here. If anyone has not had their photograph taken with your honorees, please see the photographer who will be outside the ballroom. So I know you want to get photos taken with your particular honorees, and the photographer will be available outside the ballroom, correct? Okay. Lynn will be there waiting to take your picture. And we're also pleased to share the beautiful flowers on your table. The centerpiece is there. Check with your program, and if you have a yellow dot on your program, then the flowers are for you. Yeah. That's with our thanks and best wishes. All right, way to go. And I love the it was wonderful. Let me take the time here to once again thank our sponsors too. They have just made today possible. Our platinum level sponsor is Mercy Health Fairfield Hospital. Our gold level sponsors are AK Steel, Atrium Medical Center, Barclay Card, Davis Wendell Family Fund of the Community Foundation of Westchester Liberty, First Financial Bank Wealth Management, Fort Hamilton Hospital, Journal News, LCNB, Miami University, MCM CPAs and Advisors, Park National Bank, U.S. Bank, Wilkes Insurance, and then our silver level sponsors are Community First Solutions, Lifespan, and Quality Publishing. And a special thank you to TV Hamilton, right there. You didn't make my head shine too much. That's all right. Yeah, thank you for taping this event and sharing it with the other hometown cable channels in the county. So look forward to air in the coming weeks. And again, thanks to all of you, the nonprofits, for working to make Butler County such a wonderful place to live and to be in, and to those honorees for your contributions in making this work possible. And once again, thanks for letting me be a part of it. Take care.